Howdy. Welcome to episode 2 of the Does It Whip podcast. I'm here with my co-host Will.
And I'm here with my co-host Karsten. Karsten, how's your day? How you doing?
Thanks for asking that. My day was pretty good. We're pretty early.
Actually, it's only 1:53 p.m. So it's like...
Only one says, how was your morning, really?
Good. I got some work done. Karsten and I we're kind of... at school, we're kind of in finals week, so we're a little bit of crunch time.
It's but a lot of stuff going on.
You know, took some time out of our day to record this podcast for you guys because we love you so much.
Yeah. My bike got stolen last night.
Karsten's bike got stolen.
It's been stolen for about a week now, and I came across it, my bike. It was my bike. I can prove it was mine.
There was a lot of drama last night.
Yeah. So there's a lot of drama. Still, there's no end to the story yet.
We'll keep everyone updated.
But yeah, that's kind of how my past 24 hours have been.
It is hot here.
87 degrees.
Yeah, someone just flipped the summer switch.
Someone went, boop.
Someone boop. But, yeah, it's very hot, but it's very nice. It makes me happy, except I'm sweating a lot. And also, we don't have air conditioning in this room, so I'll probably complain about that at least once.
We're sweating pretty hard. We'll be sweating not only from the heat, but from talking about today's movie,
Megamind. That's very good segue, actually. I love that.
Talk about it. Talk about it, Will. Tell us about the movie.
Megamind came out in 2010. It's a DreamWorks animated movie directed by Tom McGrath, who did Madagascar and The Boss Baby. And this is actually really going to freak you out. Not freak you out, but it's going to blow your gourd. Creative consultant on this movie who majorly assisted with editing to make this more exciting, Guillermo del Toro.
No.
Not joking right now.
No. My gourd has been blown.
Yes.
To smithereens.
Which I'm not going to say like I can see his influence, but I'm not surprised, I guess. Like it's like, oh.
I'm not surprised at all.
This was originally pitched as a live-action movie, which I'm very glad we have not seen. And it was based around the question, what if Lex Luthor defeated Superman? So, basically the movie revolves around Megamind, who's voiced by Will Ferrell. He's like a evil genius who spent his entire life locked in a rivalry with Metro Man, who protects Metro City, but Megamind pronounces it as Metrocity, which is a very fun gag. And then one day Megamind defeats him, and he feels purposeless because he's an evil genius without anyone to fight. Yeah, Karsten, let's just go for it. What are your pros? Would you like?
Oh yeah, my pros. So first off, and this is very general. I'm sure you agree. It was a blast. I was smiling for I want to say 80% of this movie.
Yeah,
you were looking at me. I could see it in the reflection.
Yeah,
I was smiling.
I had seen this movie before.
Yeah, you're an ultra fan.
Yeah, well, not an ultra fan,
but you're a pretty.
But I grew up. This is like my mom loved this movie. I remember, like, because she would obviously take us to movies, and I'm sure it kind of just gritted her teeth through a lot of them. But she loves this movie, quotes it very often.
Yeah. I thought it was a blast. Again, I was smiling basically the whole time. I also thought that for a animated kids movie, DreamWorks, it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
like you brought up before, it's got like it reminds me a lot of the Lego Movie. Some of its humor.
DreamWorks tends to have some kind of clunkers. DreamWorks like usually very relying on fart humor. And
relying on.
We'll have a good fart joke. Let me just throw that out there. But
yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, this film has like its little jokes there, but for the most, there were a lot of like very adult type of references, kind of.
Yeah, and themes. Yeah,
it felt like I don't know. I was genuinely laughing at a few parts. Another highlight from this film is the cast. Mm-hmm. Star-studded lineup here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my favorite was Metro Man, played by Brad Pitt.
Okay, so...
Spectacular.
I was trying to figure out where I should shoehorn this in. Brad Pitt, so I will talk about this obviously later during my section, but he's one of my favorite characters in this movie, Metro Man.
Yes.
Kind of like an Elvis superhero type. He actually insisted on holding his microphone and walking around the studio while he recorded his lines, which like totally makes sense.
Oh my
God. That's hilarious to me.
That makes sense.
Especially in like the opening scene where he's like, when the monument is being unveiled of his, he's like, how you doing, Metro City? Put your hands in the air, that kind of thing. Oh man.
Yeah. That was like one of my favorite characters I've seen in a DreamWorks movie. Honestly, he was so good. I also thought that David Cross as the fish, loved that. That voice was somehow perfect for that character.
Yeah, which
I wasn't expecting. It was an unlikely match.
David Cross sounds like a curious child, which is very weird.
Not at all who David Cross is.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, lastly, I think that this movie, it poked fun, and this kind of goes back to the funny stuff, but it poked fun at a lot of typical children's movies, like a lot of tropes.
How so?
Well, there was that one scene where he had the gun, and it was loading, and they make it out to be this epic thing, and in most kids' movies, they're like, this is the mega gun, and then they shoot it, but in this one, they're like, oh, it's warming up.
Oh, yeah,
and that was like a whole gag, and I thought that was like...
That was really
like,
funny.
they make fun of, like, just very cheesy.
Yeah, making fun of both superhero movies and kids movies.
Yeah,
I feel like.
And it somehow is the epitome of a just a goofy, fun kids movie at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's like kind of a secretly smart film for that. Like it was able to like balance being self-aware and just ridiculous at this very well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, those are my four major pros about this film. I really had a good time with it.
Okay, I'm going to get into mine then.
Yeah,
I have
what did you think? What were your pros?
So, I would agree with you that it's just so fun. It's just goofy. Mm-hmm. It's just goofy as hell. It is so much fun. Also, a lot of very subtle, great themes. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, this movie, you know, casts evil as being, like, untrue to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Lying to people, things like that. Like how he transforms to try and win over Roxanne, voiced by Tina Fey. Also, this Megamind is, I'm gonna just say right now, anti-police brutality and anti-neckbeard, if you think about it. Like anti-entitled dude, because that's like who Titan, voiced by Jonah Hill, the villain is like oh, why don't the nerdy guys ever get it? Why don't the nice guys ever, get it? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that theme of just own it, be weird, whatever. And obviously that's like a very common theme in kids' movies. Mm-hmm. But there's like these themes of like authority and identity and like worship of heroes.
No, yeah, there's some like hard hitters in this film.
There's some real hard hitters. On the other side, animation, pretty good for the time, I would say. There's a lot of...
We'll get into that later.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, I feel like, when you're looking at late 2000s, early 2010s animated comedies, you have like...
The bar is low.
Yes, the bar is low, and it is not noticeably awful. Okay,
yeah.
Well, Carson's going to get into this, apparently.
We'll get into it later.
So, yeah, that's the thing. Episode 2, we have not shared any of our comments with each other beforehand. So, this is all genuine.
This is all off the dome.
Off the chain, also. Anyway, I loved the design of Mega Man. I loved the Black Mamba cape, the spikes everywhere. I loved that all of his, like, machines and, like, vehicles and stuff were, like, hot rods. Mm-hmm. Like, especially that mech at the end that he's in. It has, like, exhaust pipes for no reason and it makes, like, motor noises.
It didn't have to do that, but it did.
He has character, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, in a way that makes fun of traditional villains, but also is very unique.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love the design of his character. Like, he's goofy. Like, the goatee we talked about during the movie. The goatee is hilarious.
Very bad, but very good.
Very awful, but like in a good, like, it
brilliant
works.
Way.
Right. And then the soundtrack is also very fun because it's just like recognizable songs that are like pseudo hard rock, like, AC/DC.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
It is such a hard rock.
Yeah, AC/DC, like Ozzy Osbourne, like.
Yeah. I feel like that was such a goofy part of it. Like, it was just one hit after another.
Yeah, I just love the, like, and I love Minion. I love the designs. It's a very goofy movie. It makes fun of so many. It's like so many. It's making fun of superhero movies, but at the same time, it's kind of a love letter to them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh, the last thing.
Here we go.
Metro Man, we talked about as being hilarious. The Space Dad character is so funny. He is my favorite character in this movie. And apparently he was inspired by Marlon Brando's character in a 70s Superman movie. He was Superman's dad.
Wow.
But just the way that he talks and, like, oh my god, it's so funny. The weird, like, I don't know.
Hot take here. And I think I brought this up when we were watching it, if this were a live action, I feel like, and I know, like, that's like the same guy as Megamind, but, like, I feel like Michael Douglas would play a great character of that.
Who's Michael Douglas?
You don't know? Some of you probably know Michael Douglas. He's the one guy in Ant-Man, the gray hair dude. Did you see Ant-Man?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, he's doing
I
his
forgot
research.
Ant-Man.
I think that Michael Douglas would have played that character extremely well. I also thought that was like a reference to the fairy godmother.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah,
who this
you know
is.
Michael Douglas.
Oh my god, he was the main character in The Game, 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, totally. Yes. Okay,
Yes,
then I agree with
he
that.
would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I also thought that they were like paying homage to Shrek because it's DreamWorks because she looked just he looked just like the fairy godmother.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, like when I was younger. That's
like,
kind of what I thought too. But
yeah,
I don't.
Space Dad, amazing,
Hilarious
addition to
character.
this movie.
Absolutely hilarious character.
Yeah.
Do I want to get it? Okay, let's get into our cons now. What didn't we like?
Okay. I just want to get this off the bat because this is just such a simple con. The dance sequence at the end.
Yes.
I hate dance
I
sequences.
agree with that.
I despise dance sequences so much. But like that
Preston
is
hates the end of Robots. Uh-oh.
Okay, well that's an exception.
Yes. No, I would agree with that. I remember thinking during that, I was kind of like, oh.
It's again, that is a must-have in a kids animation movie.
Yeah, in a DreamWorks
Can't have
movie.
a kids animation movie
Was
without
Robots
the dance
DreamWorks?
sequence. Nah, Robots was Blue Sky.
Okay.
Same people that did Ice Age.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not trying to shoehorn in Robots jokes here.
no, yeah.
We
We got to address it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
I understand. Kids love it.
Yeah,
but
it should have been. I was like, okay, this is fine if it just ends right now, and then
if it ends right now,
if
yeah.
it didn't, and then it didn't. Yes, no, I totally agree with that.
Okay, and then we'll get into the animation.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't have an issue with the animation had the hair not been so detailed.
I gotta be honest with you, I didn't think that was.
I understand.
I guess on Hal/Titan's character,
his curls were so defined and realistic. They looked like real hairs. But then his face was just flat. Like nothing to his face. Nothing.
that's understandable. And also his eyes were really weird and dead.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. This movie was like super inconsistent with the animation, I feel like. Like some scenes I was like, good God, this looks like some 2002 animation movie.
That's fair.
But then others, there would be like a close up of Megamind, and it looked like some like very advanced technology went into it. And I'm like, what? Are these the same movie?
And also, okay, here's another IMDb trivia fact for you. Apparently there's an entire team of animators dedicated solely to animating capes in this movie.
Really?
That wasn't something that I particularly noticed.
I can see that being
like,
it's a specific talent.
Yeah. Okay, that is fair.
Yeah, it was again, that's a small thing. It doesn't really affect the movie in any way for me. It was noticeable at a few parts. I was like, really? Really?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But yeah. But the animation, again, for its time period, pretty great.
Yeah.
Like looking back at the other films that came out there, like
The
only company that was
there's some
there's some stinkers.
Some stinkers.
The only
Hoodwinked. Remember Hoodwinked?
Oh my god.
If you look up the animation for Hoodwinked, it is
it's
it's
atrocious.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Bad. Oh my
It's
god.
unfortunate.
You know what movie had really bad animation?
What?
Madagascar.
Really?
Yeah.
So did the first Toy Story, but that's just because it was old.
Well, yeah. But Madagascar, it's like they didn't even like bother.
Okay, Hoodwinked was 2005, but I think they made multiple sequels.
Yeah, there's like 5 Hoodwink movies.
Oh boy, oh boy. That's
I'm pretty
it's a whole
sure.
section in Blockbuster.
Yeah, Madagascar had really bad animation. Besides Alex the Lion's mane.
We have Carson pays attention to the hair in movies. That's how I'm
it's
learning.
a big factor.
We have gotten Madagascar references into both of these episodes now, and it makes much more sense in this one.
When did the
wooden crates?
Yes,
Yeah.
I talk about Madagascar a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
Carson actually has a huge Madagascar poster in his room.
no, I don't.
Yeah, it's right above his. It's like on his ceiling, so he looks up.
It just says I like to move it. Move it.
Oh, we were talking about. Yeah, we actually had a long conversation about King Julian and his quote unquote assistant, probably romantic partner. The little kind of chunky lemur. Wait a minute, was that Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, no, that was Sacha
Oh
Baron
my
Cohen.
god.
Yep.
Anyway.
It was like
Anyway.
Borat, but real life. Because Sacha Baron Cohen
How
has that
was it
little
real life?
fat sidekick in Borat.
How is it real life? You just compared a live action movie that they didn't even tell people they were filming it to a DreamWorks animated movie about talking animals and said, like real life.
Anyways.
The heat's getting to me. The heat's making me
I got
cranky.
you.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm literally sweating. Carson can see, like, I'm
yeah.
literally sweating.
Yeah. Thinking about gay lemurs.
Think about gay lemurs. Woo.
The pacing. That is such a film kid complaint. But
I just thought it really dropped off in the third act.
I thought the third act really lacked compared to the first two. Character development was at a...
Anyways,
go ahead.
I thought like sometimes I was like, oh, so this is the end of the movie. Like that fight between Megamind and Titan, like when they're like running around the city and Megamind is in that robot suit. I was like, oh, this is the end. This is the final battle, and
no,
it felt like it.
No, it didn't.
Okay, you're right.
Actually, you're wrong.
Actually,
I don't know. Well, okay, maybe this is just because I've seen it before.
It had that sunset vibe. It had that music going on.
But they clearly, at the beginning of the movie, show him falling, and they're like, "Oh,
that's when I realized I was like, oh, I haven't seen that yet, so this is probably."
Okay, well, so I guess the pacing is kind of okay then, huh?
Well, I don't know. Worth addressing.
Okay, yeah, no, the pacing was fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because the last battle, it's very clear. I thought that he has like this hubris of like, oh, this is so much fun, you know, and even the score doesn't match up with it.
That's fair. I guess I was on my own.
Right, Carson's wrong. So anyway, moving on.
One last con here. The score. This is such a stupid con.
I literally don't remember it.
The score, yeah, exactly. It's very generic. You know, there's nothing new brought to the table. That score could have been used in the latest Penguins movie. I didn't want to reference Madagascar again, but I just did. That's all I could think of.
It's probably because Madagascar is like the perfect Paragon movie.
Yeah.
That's why we keep...
It's such a great...
Hans Zimmer did the Megamind score. Just want you to know.
Fuck.
Wow.
Well, Hans did not bring it to the table. Did not bring it to the table in this film. Gotta say.
Imagine if it had like the Dark Knight Rises score. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. That was so funny when we played. Yeah. Megamind Intense. Megamind Grim.
Megamind directed by Christopher Nolan.
Directed by Christopher Nolan. How does Megamind fit into the DC universe?
So yeah, I don't know. I thought they could have had a little bit, like, even, this isn't even to bring it up as a joke, but even Robots has its own personality with its score to me.
No, it's not a joke.
It's fair, yeah.
It makes sense.
That was it. Not too serious cons. They're not cons that ruined the movie for me.
Okay.
They were just things that I thought what I would mention. What about you? You supposedly gave this a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
I don't remember. So, I think that was kind of when I like first made the account and I just went through. I was like, bam, bam, bam,
bam.
Although honestly, like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's Megamind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not trying to be an art house movie, no. Right? I feel like that's another good thing about this movie is that it knows its limits. You know what I mean? It's a DreamWorks movie. It knows that. Not that DreamWorks sucks. I just mean, like, it's not trying to change your life. It's just goofy.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
There's no part of this movie where I thought I was, like, they were, like, trying to make me cry.
Right. This is a great segue into my discussion topic.
Yeah. I was kind of
which was, how do you approach critiquing kids' movies? I think this is a very interesting because I approached this way differently than I approached like Coco when I saw Coco. Like Coco, I was genuinely looking at it as like a film and like looking at it the same way I looked at freaking La La Land. But this movie, I'm like, this is Megamind. Like, how am I going to critique? Like, how do you...
Well...
Because like you said, it's not trying to do anything.
Right,
it's not,
I think...
So what is there to... How do you critique that? If it does try to do something, but how do you tell... Like, it's a mess.
I think that reputation plays a big factor here, right? So
that's fair.
Pixar has a reputation. Did Pixar do Coco? They did, right?
Yeah, Pixar did Coco.
Pixar has a reputation for making like classics, and
exactly.
You know, you've had Carson has an entire video essay about saying that Pixar tries to make Pixar movies now.
Yeah.
You know, it would be very easy to see something like Megamind as a cash grab,
right,
or something. Maybe it was, but apparently, okay. So this is another. I think this was like one of DreamWorks' like cheapest movies to make.
Seriously,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there wasn't much to it.
And then like,
except, wait, really?
Yeah, I think that's what it said. And then it's also one of the lowest grossing, even though it did pretty well. DreamWorks, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think reputation probably plays a pretty big role in it, where it's like if I don't know.
Because you're right though. Because like if I'm gonna see like Solo, which I have no interest in seeing, I'm gonna approach it. I might see it. I don't know.
You saw Deadpool 2.
Yeah, but that's different. I
Glover isn't
like
even Deadpool
Infinity War.
Okay.
I approached that because of like what I knew what I was going into.
You approached it as a product.
Yes, an event. Like
okay. Well, that's different than a product.
Well, I approached it as both of those, kind of.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, So I guess it does. It does depend.
I think it's a gut thing, because I think that's one of the things about Megamind is like it's not remembered as a classic. It's not like. It's not like it's like gorgeously animated. It's good, but it's not like amazing. So I think that's one of the reasons maybe like it was so charming for me is because it's like this does not have any. It doesn't need to be this good. You know what I'm saying? It still would have made money if it was a worse movie, but it's hilarious and it has charm to it, in my opinion.
In your opinion, yeah. Because again, I was talking. My cons were like score and pacing,
right?
But like, does that? Maybe they intentionally had a generic score because it's intentionally supposed to just be that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they made a special score, no one would care.
Yeah.
No one's going to this movie.
It would, yeah.
Well, not no one would care, but I mean, like, it's not. They're not trying to. I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
I think I'm making sense, but I don't know.
No, you're making sense. It's a weird and complicated. Because I don't know.
Love this podcast.
Love it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Megamind. No, I would just say that I think that's it. It's like it didn't have to be this good. It could have been a real pile of doo-doo, and it still would have probably made money. It didn't have any. I mean, that I can recall, there weren't any like viral marketing campaigns for it. There weren't any like, it wasn't hyped up to be anything. It knew what it was.
Yep. And you brought up earlier how it's like it could have been a cash grab. I don't think it was. Like,
no, I don't think it was.
Megamind as a character, not the most like marketable figure.
Right.
Like, he looks weird.
Yeah,
kids aren't going.
Weird. There's not like a.
This isn't Frozen.
There's not like a cute character designed to sell merch in this. Like Minion is like kind of, but not really.
Yeah,
he wears a giant gorilla robot suit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't think this was a cash grab. I'm saying that DreamWorks would be more inclined to make a cash grab than say Pixar.
Exactly.
And I keep talking like Pixar's the golden standard of animated movies, which they make pretty good ones, but like.
It kind of is.
Okay. Sure.
Next to like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, but again, different
things.
Studio Ghibli like makes movies that are like terrifying.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Ponyo.
You're like, is this for kids?
Yeah, true.
Whatever. I guess what I'm saying is, DreamWorks didn't have to put as much effort into this. They didn't have to make it as charming as it was. They didn't have to hire Guillermo del Toro as a creative consultant, but they did, and it's fun. It's fun. It knows its limits. It's not trying to be profound or change your life. It's fun. There's lessons in it, but they're not smacking you over the head with them.
Right. It fits in that, because I talk about this in my bad animation video of like animated movies that like make me mad because they like just don't do anything.
Right.
But I think this movie passes the test. Because an example I put in that video was like Surf's Up. I think Surf's Up is it's just fun.
Right.
It's really
just fun.
Like, and this movie is in that group. I think it's fun. It doesn't have a ridiculous amount of heart, but it deserves to exist.
Right. Yeah. I think it does have heart though. I don't think it's not like. I don't think something has to be a tearjerker to have heart though.
That's true.
I don't think it has to be the scene at the end of Toy Story 3 where they're all going into the trash compactor where you're like supposed to be sobbing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like heart to me is just something where it's like, this was fun. It's a great concept. They had fun with it. It's fun. It's not.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I will say, I didn't really even say any cons, but I will say that I feel like Roxanne Ritchie as a character could have been more interesting. I feel like she wasn't really that.
She could have, I agree.
Fleshed out. She was more of something that he and Titan could project their motives on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She was kind of an object, but it's animated.
It's Megamind.
Megamind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the title is literally Megamind.
It just feels so stupid, even like trying to get into like, I really didn't like how this movie's pacing was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Does it whip, Carson?
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an affirmative yes, but yeah, it whips.
Yeah, I think this movie whips.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right.
Like
whip approved.
Whip confirmed.
Whoopsh.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Okay. Yeah. Actually,
I don't have anything else to say
So,
about the movie.
with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do you have anything to say about last episode, this episode?
Yeah. So we had my goal was I just wanted there to be 5,000 plays of any sort across all forms of media with this, and we surpassed that, which made me very happy.
Yep.
I think
So. We're almost at 4,000 on YouTube, 1,000 on SoundCloud. So
we
we're
had
about
some
there.
people-
Yeah.
We're about there. Yeah, I thank you for listening. This week we decided that we're not going to reveal the theme right now because we felt like we did it way too far in advance.
Yeah, we're gonna think it out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got a few ideas, but
Yeah, we have ideas, but we're not. Yeah, I'm not doing this for like. I just was too lazy to come up with it. I just mean like, we called it a little too early and then kind of feel like it lost steam.
Yeah, it's lost steam.
So maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, we'll see.
But so we're not going to reveal the theme right now. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I do want to plug. I announced this on my Twitter. I'm watching 100 movies this summer, and at the end of the summer, I'm going to do a giant video where I quickly review all of them and rank them. And if you have any recommendations, feel free to drop them in the comments. I also want to say I have a new video coming soon on Spirited Away, so be on the lookout for that. And lastly, if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so in the description. You will get early access to podcasts. And follow me on Twitter at runquistkarsten.
We have a lot of people asking about Spotify.
Yes.
And I think we're probably still going to get people in the comments asking for Spotify because they won't listen this far. Because I think some people just didn't listen to the podcast because I addressed it in the last episode. But it's very hard to get it on Spotify. So if we find that we're picking a momentum still, a couple episodes in, and people are still wanting that, we'll try it. But iTunes is a lot easier.
iTunes is very simple, yeah.
For what I understand, Spotify, you have to go through like a licensing company. If you know how to do it in an easy way, like obviously tell us.
Yeah.
But we're working on it.
Yep.
Just be patient.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Does It Whip?
Bye.
Smooches.
Smooches.